Hey everyone, welcome to my home and welcome to my channel, A Ginger Can. Today we're outside my backyard. I've been waiting for the weather to break. It was 108 2 days ago. It's a little warm to do what I need to do. So forgive the wind noise, forgive the traffic. I've got my two boys out here too. You can't keep little boys inside all day, every day. So you may see or hear them running around. It is what it is. I'm under my little, I don't know what to call this, gazebo I guess. Try to cut down the wind noise for the camera because it's not a great mic. So what we're doing today is I have to move my green onions. They're sunburnt, they're just dying. Last year I moved them to the east side of my fence line for the winter because I normally bring them in and take them out of the garage, and that's a royal pain in the backside. So my plan was to build a small greenhouse on my fence line to protect all my peppers and green onions and ginger plants so I didn't have to wheel them in and out of the garage. That was my little boy just there. Well, it didn't work out. And so I've left them there, and it's late spring, early summer. We get a lot of sun here in California. So I need to move them. They're dying. It's not a good scene. I'll lift this up, and again, I forgive the wind noise. I'm sorry about that. I can't do anything about it. At least it's cool right now. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to rotate the camera around a little bit. I've got the sun coming in from the east, so there might be some glare. I'm going to try to keep the camera here covered so that it doesn't affect the lens. But I'll show you what we're talking about here real fast. Okay, I rotated the camera a little bit. You can see I have two 2-foot planter boxes, and then a long planter box, and then my compost bin, which was bought. I didn't build it. We can talk about that at a different time. So what I need to do is, I'll bring the camera in a little bit closer too. You can see the green onions and the sad shape that they're in. I'm going to take them out of the 2-foot planters, move them into the one long planter that used to have peppers, and they're all dead. And I'm going to move that to my wall where they normally sit every year, and they just flourish. They thrive very well there. I have to water them, but they get the morning sun, and then that's it. So let's get the camera a little bit closer, and you can see what I'm talking about with the green onions. Okay, so here they are. Normally they're flourishing and thriving right now. It's a bad sight. So this is the one 2-foot planter box with the green onions. This one has ginger in it. Not sure what's going on there yet. I need to dig into that. And this is the long box. You can see I already started some new green onions, and they're dying too. So this whole thing needs to move from this east side fence to that wall, and that's the plan for today. I'm also going to move my compost bin to the south side fence line just to move it. Yeah. Alright, so let's do it to it. I'm going to probably speed this up a little bit because there's going to be a lot of labor involved. Like I said, I'm going to move one planter box to this wall, which you're not going to be able to see because of the shed, and then I'll transplant the onions into that planter box. Hopefully they'll survive, and then move the compost bin. I got a couple of things moving, so let's get to it. And there they go, my supervisors. One down. It was pretty easy to move. Fortunately, it's only half full right now. So let's move the other planter box. I'm going to be out of frame for a little bit. Let's get the long one moved. Okay, that went a lot better than I expected it to. Getting it out there, I don't know what I was thinking, but getting it back was a lot faster. So now to salvage my green onions as best I can. Okay, I'm in direct sunlight. This is bad for a ginger. I need to do this quickly. So I'm on my east-facing wall, because there's the sun. It's almost lunchtime, actually. I moved the planter just to make it easier for me. And the planter's in bad shape anyway, so it's going to be, I don't know, I might turn it into mulch. And so now I got to transplant the onions. I've got some other cleanup to do over there. But I'll probably move it closer to the window, because I have a stray cat problem, and they like to fight with my cat in the window. So I'll probably move it down there a little bit. Now it's just me transplanting the onions, which is going to be boring, because you're going to be staring at my back. So I'll bring you back when I'm done transplanting as many as I can, if I can find them, water it, and call it a successful project. See you in a few minutes. Okay, I'm back. After about 5 minutes of digging in here, the roots are really substantial, which is good. But it was going to take me far too long to do this in the sun. So I got my pop-up up. So these roots are very, very intertwined and very, very deep. I've got some serious digging to do if I'm going to resurrect this. But it's good roots. I'm happy about that. They should pop right back once they're in a better location. I'll see if I can't get a couple out and show you the root system. These are old too. I'll tell you how I started this when I get one out. I'll see you in a little bit. I'll see you in a little bit. So here's a cluster of great roots. I don't know if you can see this bulb, but check out that bulb. So this is a really good sign. They're not completely dead. Let's step back from the camera. I'm fairly certain I can resurrect these guys. There's another really good bulb. I mean, look at these roots. I had to dig in pretty deep. So my method for this is to clear away some dirt and get underneath and then lift up and try to get as many roots as possible. And I did a pretty good job here. So let's talk about my green onions for a minute as I'm getting these planted. These aren't from seed. These are from store-bought. So what we did is when we first got here 5-6 years ago is we bought a bunch of green onions. Some of the bigger kind, some of the smaller kind. And from the store, we did the water root start method. You put them in some water, just enough to cover the roots. You don't want it submerged. And cut off at least 1 inch of the onion, because you can cut down smaller, but you don't want to do that. So you got about 1 inch onion, a little bit of roots, and you just soak it in water until you get 1-inch-long roots or so, 1/2 inch to 1 inch, and then you transplant them to the dirt. They do not like a lot of sunlight, apparently. Where they were on that east side wall, they were getting a lot of sunlight, and this is pretty bad sunburn. So putting them against my east side wall, they'll get the morning light, and then that's it, because the sun will pass, and they should do a lot better here, because they always have. They've always done really well here. You can see they always flower. They have flowers coming out of everywhere. So let me get these roots in the dirt, and I'll bring you back when I'm done, and we can water them. Alright, so I got the bulk of them out. What I'm going to end up doing with these is I'm going to cut them down, because the tops aren't doing great. The roots are really good, the bulbs are really healthy. I've got another good cluster here that I'll cut down. I'm just going to cut it to about here, and then I'll replant these. I've got my supervisors here. This is still really good soil. Oh, it looks like I missed one. It's got my own compost in it. I'll do another video about my compost. Youngest checking it out. Oldest has bubbles, so if you see bubbles, that's why. Yeah, you see ants? Every small insect is an ant. So I'm going to get these cut down, get them into this box. They're going to keep inspecting my other soil. I'm going to reuse this eventually, I'll probably mix it into this box, raise the dirt level a little bit. It's a pretty shallow box, and I'm finding out that these roots go really deep. Hey, look, bubbles. Tiny bubbles in my camera. So, yeah, he's giggling like a goofball. So, I'll bring you back when I actually get these into the dirt, cut down, and we'll get to watering. Okay, you can't see the ground right now, but I've made a flippin' mess. I got all the onions out. I still got a bunch of roots down here. So, they go pretty darn deep. They should be okay in this. I'll have to double check it. Let's talk about watering. I mentioned a little bit ago that I'm in California and that 2 days ago it was 108 degrees. That's toasty. And there's no way I was going to do this in 108 degrees. So I have an air conditioner. Makes sense. It's hot. You need air conditioning. What I do is I put a bucket under the condenser outlet. So it collects all that water instead of just letting it spew out in my concrete and evaporate. Yes? Okay. And I use that to water my plants. I've been doing that for years and it works pretty darn well. It saves a little bit of water. I make a pretty decent mess moving it around, but you know, every little bit helps. So let me get water transferred to my watering can, and I'll get this bed soaked. I got a whole other bucket because it wasn't just 108 for one day. It was well over 90 for a few days. Over 100 for 3 of those. So let me get this water transferred. I'm not going to let you, or I'm not going to have you watch me make a mess. So as you can see, I made a colossal mess. Trying to dump that bucket into that watering can. I got it about 2/3, maybe 3/4 full out of a full bucket, 5-gallon bucket. So it swept away some of the dirt, which is fine, I guess. There's the container. I took about half of the dirt out of that one and topped this off. You can't really see many of the shoots anymore, and that's okay. They need the protection. So I'm going to water this, and we'll bring you back for some final thoughts. See you in a bit. So when you're watering, make sure you get everything that you're growing. Everything. It just helps them grow. Okay, let's talk about some final thoughts. Green onions don't like a lot of sun. I learned that the hard way. I'm hoping I can resurrect them. Like I mentioned before, these were all store-bought. We used the green parts, and then I planted the roots after a couple of days of soaking in water. Got my supervisor's back being wet. Let's talk about the flowers. I've never grown any from seed. Nothing seems to ever take off. As far as I can tell, I honestly have no idea how many green onion plants I've planted. So I could have some from seed. I don't know. The stalks are so fibrous and they taste so bad I would not use them unless you're using them for a stock. If you're doing a vegetable stock or broth, you could use them for that. They're very thick. They're tough to chew. They don't taste great. They do have a little bit of the green onion taste, but it's really not worth it unless you're using them in a stock. And this is simple. I mean, we have green onions year round. My soil is just container potting mix with a little bit of bark mulch and my own compost, and I'll do another video on composting, a very easy and quick way I've found. So this is not Mark and Tina's super soil. Huge shout out to them, Bumblebee Junction. I'll leave a link to their channel down below. They do a lot of great stuff, and Tina would be proud of my arms. They're almost as dirty as she gets sometimes, and she loves playing in the dirt. Check them out, Bumblebee Junction. They have great super soil. That's not this. This is just potting mix or container mix with bark mulch and compost. What are you doing, goofball? I have to chase you around with some more water? No? Yeah? Okay. So, I hope you like this. I hope you got something out of it. I know I have. It's just my mistake. hopefully I can bring these back. So if you like this, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Again, I apologize for the wind noise and traffic noise. I live on a very busy street. My neighborhood, it has a lot of traffic too. Fortunately, you missed the ambulances. So anyway, like, subscribe, leave comments down below if you have a better way to do this, or if you're growing your own green onions and you want to share some tips with other people. That's great. Share it with share this video with other people. And that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. This is a ginger can, and a ginger can resurrect green onions. Hopefully. Take care, everyone. You want to say bye? All right. Over here. Over here. Say bye. Bye. There you go. Thanks.